Like the Real Housewives of Max Verstappen up in here.
Checo's checked out.
Joe Manu is off the track. That steak is cooked.
A lot is at stake for Steak F1.
Man, even the broadcast couldn't handle that stat.
My heart almost was screaming like, how can anybody be a Lewis Hamilton fan?
No.
Not on my 2024 bingo card.
Yeah, we're gonna have to create a new one now.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Lights Out Latest. My name is Marina, and I'm here with Steven, Jason, and Tristan. And today we have no theme. We have so much news that there is nothing else we can talk about, because literally there's news every day. So,
yeah,
I don't know, guys. I'm going to go crazy. We had like a whole thing.
Unless we're going to talk about Jason's ego.
What?
For context, this is like round 2 of this part of the pod, which is why it's kind of like, because Jason wasn't recording. So, I'm just going to throw you under the bus for that one, even though it was my fault. Anyways, this week's headlines. Firstly, Ziggo Sports reported that Stefano Domenicali was leaving F1, like, not going to be the CEO anymore, to go to MotoGP, which is false.
Yes.
I really wish it was true, though.
I think, yeah, I think most people do. But...
No.
Oh.
I'm gonna, and I argued about in the comments to some people about this. Stefano Domenicali, formerly CEO of an auto manufacturer and team principal of Ferrari for a number of years, is probably the most qualified person to be F1 CEO other than like Ross Brawn. Actually, no, not even Ross Brawn, because he's been stuck in F1. He's fastest growing sport in the entire world, doing way better than NASCAR in viewership and ticket sales, way better than IndyCar in retaining teams. Like IndyCar's losing teams, driving up costs. They're about to lose Honda, and Domenicali has attracted Audi, bought Honda back.
I get that, but on the other hand, it's like fans hate him. Like,
yeah, but I don't,
drivers
because
hate him. Drivers hate him like a lot.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of part of it, Jason? You gotta admit that F1 is more of a golden goose than NASCAR and IndyCar are.
I mean,
I feel like it's a lot easier to
credit
succeed.
to him and Liberty Media, because without them, the F1 wouldn't be in the place they would be today.
Sure.
Facts. But
yeah,
I'd still argue, like, the first thing I thought when that it was announced, and I was thinking, like, oh, it's probably, like, when I thought it was real, before I knew it was fake, I thought it was because of the GPDA statement. And I think that shows you everything you need to know.
I thought it was because he was going to, like you said, the rumors were he's going to MotoGP.
Yeah.
It was because, like, hey, Stefano, look how he grew F1. Now he's going to grow MotoGP.
Which makes sense.
On the other side, Tristan, I totally agree with you. Like, F1 before Liberty Media was still ahead of IndyCar and still being more stable than NASCAR was.
NASCAR had that golden era of like the 90s and the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So NASCAR is the real fumbler. IndyCar was just always behind since the merger
Well,
between CART and Indy.
NASCAR tried to become more corporate like Formula One was, and it just clearly, they just misingenuated their entire audience.
Yeah.
Right, because that's not what their audience wants.
Yeah, they're these massive, big, multi-billion-dollar facilities. It's like, no, audience wants the good old boys to still be racing down in the South and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was easier for F1 because F1 already had that audience on like the corporate audience locked in. They need like the younger audience. You could do both at the same time. You have corporate stuff at the track and promotions and ads, but then still at the same time on social media go crazy for the fans. Yeah. It's much harder to go from the like super fan base to a more corporate fan base, and it is from a corporate standpoint back to branching out to super fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's also an element of that's like, I think it's easier to pitch luxury to young people.
Yeah.
Because, like, before you are, like, let's say, like, 18. Like, for American audience, say before you're 18, really.
Right.
And you leave the house and you're buying groceries and paying rent or whatever. You don't understand the concept of that crash just cost $1.5 million. It's just a number.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Or these tickets cost $500 for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as you, like, get a little older, then it's harder to pitch it because you understand the concept of money. But at that point, you're already hooked.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to hook those, like, 12 to 18-year-olds.
Anybody watched F1 Kids broadcast?
Oh god.
They got like Lewis Hamilton doing like Gangnam Style and
think-
animation.
So funny.
I think I had to watch the kids broadcast.
I
Yes,
remember
you
this
were-
last year.
yep.
Monaco.
Yeah.
I think
Yep.
it was Monaco. I
think
had
it
to
was,
watch
yeah.
it. And I was
Yep.
like, okay, I guess this is something I have.
This
to
is
do
what the
now.
kids crave.
And they had the kid like on there like commentating. I think
The
or
kid
something like that.
commentators were awesome.
Yeah.
Like, what was it, Hungary this year? They had it. I watched like clips. I didn't watch the
Yeah.
broadcast, but they're on point.
Yeah.
I
they're
just think
incredible.
the graphics are really funny.
Oh,
They
it's
are.
hilarious. Like
Didn't the
you have like
NFL do
Lewis
it
like
too?
dancing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like this. It's so funny.
Who did it first?
NFL did,
Was
I'm
the
pretty
NFL?
sure. Because they did with Nickelodeon, and then they did it with, like, I think...
Yeah, like the
Couple of
SpongeBob
things, yeah.
broadcast.
The thing is,
Like you have like slime in the end zone. It's kind of
Mhm.
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you think? How many people do you think actually watch the F1 Kids broadcast willingly?
I don't know.
I could see, like, it being a big thing in Europe. Like, if you're, like, trying to get your kids into F1 for the first time.
Potentially.
You
Yeah, but,
know,
like
like Stefano, this is why he's so great. Is he pays off all the local preschools to just run these
Oh
like in
my
the background
gosh.
on repeat, so the kids are indoctrinated at a
Yeah.
young age
It's-
to Salesforce and Pirelli.
It's in the work. It's in
I know
the
that commercial like the back of my hand at this point. Like it's crazy.
The Salesforce teddy bear, like they don't even give them normal teddy bears in the preschool. They give them the Salesforce teddy bear.
Oh my
Like,
gosh!
you know, one of the ads on Vegas. We'll
It's
see
playing
it
in the
again.
dentist. Is playing in the
It's
the
like,
doctor's
yes,
office.
I do want to work for Salesforce and sell cloud software solutions. This is like a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Cloud software solutions is my dream job.
100%.
Hey, what do you want to
funny.
be when you grow up?
I want to
Yeah.
sell CRM and data to large accounting firms like Ernst & Young and PwC. Meanwhile, the kid
12.
next door is like, yeah, I want to be a firefighter dog walker. Like, you know, like Stefano hates when somebody says I want to be a firefighter because he needs them to to drink the F1 Kool-Aid. What would be F1 Kool-Aid? Red Bull? Drink the Red Bull?
Drink the Red Bull.
Drink the Red Bull
Yeah.
cherry special
Oh my
flavor.
Celsius.
gosh.
Mm.
Yeah, if
Anything
you're a Ferrari
energy drink,
fan.
really. Celsius, Monster,
Yeah,
Red
start
Bull.
them early. Start them
Celsius
early.
in F1. I guess. Yeah,
It's
they are.
Ferrari.
Ferrari. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Start them early.
So,
Yeah, man.
So
Anyways, circling back to the original piece of news, I just thought it was really funny that it was the original thing, and then there was like an Instagram DM picture from the official F1 communications department that was like, "This story is fiction. It's completely wrong."
man, what's he doing to get F1 in the DMs? That's crazy.
For real, you must have a big audience to get F1 in the
Yeah.
DMs.
Well, we all know that
yeah.
Colapinto is quite the Rizzler, so I mean.
I mean,
Wow.
you know,
Are we really gonna talk about this?
you know,
Are we
no,
really
no,
gonna talk about
we're
this?
gonna we might skip that for a little bit, but I mean, I already have F1 in my DMs. Actually, no, I DM'd them first and they responded, so you know how that goes.
Oh,
Ooh,
ain't no way.
the Rizzler
I'll believe
over
it when I
here.
see it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I actually asked for free Pirellis, and they said how many. So it's turning out pretty well.
I'll
It's
believe it
working
when
out
I
pretty
see it.
good.
It's
I'll
working
believe it
out.
when I
Pulls
see
up in the
Not bad.
Beamer with the P0s.
And there's slicks too, so when it rains, it's like ice skating. So it's a lot of fun. You should
Hey
try it
Jason, what
sometime.
what tire comp on you running today? Softs.
Yeah, yeah, and a little bit of rain. I mean, man, it's good thing I know how to ice skate.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to reality.
Well, that is reality. That happened like last
I'll
week.
believe it when I see it.
Oh yeah,
Anyways,
they're on my car right now.
F1 will host.
The red wall softs on the car. They're the C2s, by the way.
Oh, very nice.
I'll believe it when I see it. Anyways, F1 will host a season launch event for the 2025 season launch. So, like, instead of doing the individual livery launches that each team does,
Yeah.
they're doing, like, one big event.
Well,
What do you
Max
think?
hates this.
Max literally, and I quote, said, I hope I'm sick that day.
Yeah. I
On stream.
I don't know. I don't know if you are familiar with like was it E3? You know, the GamerCom. That's what this kind of reminds me of. If they turn this into something like that, or CES, the Consumer Electronics Show,
Yeah.
I feel like this is what this is kind of going for.
My question is like, where are they gonna do it? Did they say where they're gonna do it?
London.
Oh, London. All right, I guess.
Where in London do we know?
The O2.
O2.
Where's that at? I feel dumb for asking, but
You have a computer in front of you.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I don't know if
I
anyone
couldn't
else knew.
tell you
He doesn't trust Google.
exactly.
It is in
Fake news.
Peninsula Square.
Where is that on the map?
I don't know. Oh, it's a weird looking building. It looks like a porcupine.
Yeah, the
on
O2.
outside. Right.
All I gotta say about this is another Stefano masterclass. Somehow he simultaneously made Max mad and the team's happy all at the same time.
No, that's how you know you're winning in life.
Okay, but what about this makes the teams happy?
Because then they get more eyes
Yeah.
per event. Like
Well,
they have
They
one
made
event
the sponsors
paid
happy.
for by
But
F1.
do they get to make the sponsors
The
happy? 'Cause
sponsors are happy.
I thought
Oh,
that was
yeah.
one of the fun things about it is like your individual sponsors get to have a fun time at your individual event.
Well, now they get to be in front of the whole F1
That's what
audience.
I say. I think that
Yeah.
there's more
Like
people.
fans from every team watches it. Like I would watch the Ferrari event because like I'm a Ferrari fan, but I wouldn't really watch other teams.
Mm-hmm.
And most teams wouldn't even have an event. Like literally, I think Haas. The only time they had an event was when Rich Energy paid for it.
McLaren didn't have an
Like,
event.
Yeah, and they usually do. So to have F1 sell
Yeah.
tickets to this and then be able to
Well,
fund
they
a
sold
live
like
event.
250 tickets.
Yeah,
Because
because
the rest is going to influencers and sponsors.
Well-
realistically, no fans ever go to these. Like
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
no
here's-
fans. It's all
You're a
media.
Ferrari
It's
fan.
all
There were a bunch of Ferrari
sponsors.
fans at the other one.
Yeah, but that's only if they hold a massive event. Usually it's like media and sponsors that get invites.
I would be more interested in like the weekend it happens. Like
Yeah.
all right, let's
Yeah.
say it's announced on a Saturday, and then it just be in London for the weekend, and there's a all the Formula One teams are there that weekend. Blah,
That's
blah,
what I was
blah.
gonna say. I feel like that would be like
Yeah.
the way you're like if you realistically if you're gonna pay to see drivers, it's not gonna be at a race. It's gonna be that weekend in London.
Yeah, it's also like, and again, this is my pull. I just like to see what the cars are gonna look like, and I understand that's the whole point of the event. Is like, oh, here's what. Here's the new paint for Ferrari. Here's the new whatever. What's it gonna look like? I understand there's more to it. But that's what I care about it. So
Yeah.
I could miss the event. I
Yeah.
can just see what the cars look like afterwards. It's
I
fine.
appreciate the fact that there's gonna be probably less yapping because a lot
Yeah.
of times we'd wait like an hour. It's an hour of yapping just to get like the Alpine car unveiled and it was like mostly black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
think that hopefully the fact that we have
Well, they're gonna be on F1 scheduling. They're not
that's
gonna be on
what
their
I'm
own
saying.
scheduling.
Exactly. The fact
Yeah.
that it's an F1 event, I think there's still going to be a lot of yapping. There's still a lot of
Yeah.
sponsorship stuff that has
100%.
to go through. But I would say that's probably going to be shorter to watch this one live event with all 10 teams than it
That's
was
true.
to watch 10 separate.
Overall, it'll be pretty good. It's
Yeah.
just like
For
the,
fans
the,
at home, I think it will be.
The downside is now we don't have a week of like drip feed content to post
It's
about.
all just one day.
So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's just all out content all at
What was
once.
it? Wasn't like the first one to drop this year was it Haas? I think.
And they didn't. Yeah, they didn't
Yeah,
announce a date. They just like threw
but
it
they
out
were
there.
early. They did really early, and then it took until
Undercut
like
of the
2 months
season.
later, and then what? I don't know who's the last.
It was like
person.
I think it was along the whole month of February. Like so the first one was probably like the 1st of February,
Mm-hmm.
and then it started like trickling down all throughout the month until we got to like the week before testing. And I think that
Yeah.
was the last one. Was like the week before testing.
Do you know who did have the craziest launch this year?
Mm.
V Carb.
McLaren?
No, V Carb. They had it in Vegas, and Kendrick Lamar showed up.
Yes, but
that was probably the
McLaren wiped
craziest.
their whole social media and then dropped the
Yeah.
car.
I mean,
true.
great launch for
Pretty
all
cool.
fans, but in person, like Kendrick Lamar with Yuki Tsunoda, it was kind of
What were we-
insane.
Yeah, what were we talking about at that time? With McLaren swept their social media, we were like, oh, something like.
Oh, they
there's some-
changed their philosophy, right? Was that what it
No,
was?
the intern just pressed the wrong button and they covered it up with a car launch.
Right.
I was talking about how I was pissed there was no more Carlando content at that time because all of them.
Oh,
like-
that's what it was. No, that's what we're talking about. It's like all the content was gone.
like I
Yeah.
couldn't
It's
It's like,
find
oh no,
anything.
yeah.
So sad.
that's what
Because
it
unless
was.
it got reposted, which to be fair, a lot of their content gets reposted,
Oh,
but
for sure.
they're like the OG content is harder to find
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it doesn't exist. Like it's not on their page anymore. Which I wish they would have just made a new page because the McLaren F1 page, I'm pretty sure it's not McLaren F1. It's like McLaren, just McLaren and
Yeah, I
McLaren
think it's just
Racing or something like
McLaren,
that.
Sure.
So they could have just made a new account, McLaren F1.
Yeah. They could have.
Like it wouldn't have been like they should have just left.
Yeah,
that one be.
Gmail is free. They could create a new Gmail.
Yeah,
my
exactly.
gosh.
I have 3 Gmails.
Have like 100 because I just
Dang.
make new ones to get free trials.
I make a new one for like every email I send, so nobody knows who it's coming from.
Is Google listening, Marina?
Google knows.
Google knows.
Hey,
They
not
see
stupid.
They see your tendencies, and they're like, hey, when it comes down to nuts and bolts,
when it
Google
comes down to
Google will find its
the
retribution.
30-day free trial
I mean,
from
the
Hulu,
Zuck,
that's-
he
I've literally
knows.
had like 10 times.
Yeah.
You owe us $500,000 for all the free trials you've done over
Basically.
usernames.
Anyways, the other announcement this week, Monaco on the calendar for 2031. Now, literally last week, we were talking about if there were 3 tracks that we had to have on the calendar, which ones they would be. Most people said Monaco,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Most not including me.
you said no.
Jason is special.
So how do you feel about this then?
Monaco, the best point about it is it's so different. I mean, it's historic, sure, but it's so different than other races
For sure.
that you could say it's really qualifying race when almost no other track really is.
Yeah.
So that's always interesting to see. It's also pit crews have more pressure than ever. So that's probably the only positives about Monaco. The negatives are massive, and they don't pay as much, so it's not great for
Facts.
F1's books either.
Yeah.
So after the success of Las Vegas, which brought the same level of like pageantry to the race,
Yeah.
I kind of expected F1, and Stefano said this before, like, hey, these historic races, like, they need to step up their games too. They can't just show up doing the same stuff when
Yeah.
not just the money from other races is being upped, but also the the race day and race weekend experience for the fans and partners are being stepped up by places like COTA, like Las Vegas, like
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, these tracks offer better experiences, better money. Just because Monaco is Monaco doesn't mean they get to remain on the calendar.
I can understand the F1 part of it. Like
but
for
it'd be
F1,
old.
for F1 and for money, that makes sense.
Mm.
But how many times have we heard fans talk about, I don't care about the spectacle, I just want to see the cars.
Yeah.
Like, see the cars go
Well,
vroom, vroom.
we
Like, I
hear
just
it-
want to see the race.
We heard today with Las Vegas. I mean, I think Max even said it. He was like, it's 99% show and 1% race.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if removing Monaco, forcing Silverstone and other European races to go big on like these big entertainment factors, when really most of the European fans don't want the big show.
I'm not even talking about the show. I'm just talking about like the fan experience. Like
But that's what
other
I'm saying, like,
tracks
all I
offer
care about when I
more
go to
tickets
races, like, I've
for
been to a couple-
cheaper.
No.
More tickets at
The
least.
most expensive races are Vegas and Miami. And Monaco.
Really?
Well, Monaco, if you're not going to grandstands.
Yeah, I mean,
Vegas has the most expensive tickets on the calendar.
Wow.
what I'm really trying to say is like, these other tracks are offering better fan experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think my point is it depends on the fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking U.S. fan base, I think that because of the way we do sports in the U.S., there is a market for these big entertainments.
I mean, just look at the Dallas
Vegas,
Cowboys.
Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there's a market for that. However, when you are talking about like internationally, I disagree with Stefano Domenicali. I don't think that Silverstone should have these big entertainment aspects to them.
I don't think
they
so
would
either.
get. I think it would get dull.
Yeah.
We would.
Well,
The 99% show, 1% racing would become 99.5 very quickly because Vegas would then have to show up Silverstone, who's now doing more entertainment.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Does
not
that make
gonna be
sense?
hard, though.
I mean, it's not always just entertainment. It's not like, oh, we're going to have Eminem, but then now you go over to next concert and it's like, oh, now we have Martin Garrix.
Which
Like,
is
it's
fire, by the
also
way.
just
It's a
like
great concert.
the fan experience, like food options, ease of entry,
No, I
all
agree.
these little things that, Monaco literally can't do because they don't have the space or,
Yeah.
or
Is
size.
it, is it wild to think that I feel like every F1 weekend should have some sort of secondary big entertainment of some kind?
They do.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, at least the ones I've been to, like Jeddah, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think part of
COTA,
the problem
all
is
have entertainment.
they just
Right.
don't televise it. I think is what the problem
Yeah.
Well,
is.
I mean,
But no
does
concerts
anybody
are
televise a
televised.
concert? Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
I think
that's the whole point of a
I think-
concert.
And that would
you gotta
To
be
your
go.
like
point,
only
though-
televising. That would be like televising the opener
To your-
before a concert.
yeah,
too.
to your point though,
Sure.
that's like what you're saying is these other tracks that do concerts, they have entertainment at
Yeah.
the actual race,
Mhm.
but fans at home don't have to see it.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like, not they
Yeah,
don't have
yeah,
to.
yeah.
They don't see it. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Miami, Vegas, these big show aspects that we're talking about is not the entertainment fan experience when you actually go to a race.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the big, like, opening ceremony that they had in Vegas last year, which my opinion was terrible.
Yeah.
We don't
All
need
I
that.
wanted to see was
We
the
don't need
drivers,
that.
and I got to see them for 5 seconds from far away with a shitty camera angle.
Yeah.
Well, I think the
Pardon
problem
my
with that
French.
also is
Like,
that
We don't need
there's
that.
there's a difference in Vegas did it wrong because they don't have a tradition of it. I think Monaco's one of the greatest examples where tradition is paramount. The
Yeah.
prince comes out at the end of the race and gives the trophies to the drivers.
Yeah.
Victory
and then
dinner.
They have the whole royal family
Victory
behind
dinner,
them and
yeah.
stuff like that. Like I think that's part of the entertainment that you don't need to add like candles to the cake almost.
Yeah.
It's the cake is there and the cake's amazing. Like the candles are for show. And obviously it also goes in exactly what we were just saying. Is Monaco's just there's not enough space.
The funniest.
But obviously that race is for the millionaires.
No.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way Joe Average is gonna be able to go to that race unless if he somehow wins the lottery.
It's like
You
it's like
know?
the Masters.
Yeah, the Masters another good play.
I don't know,
Masters
even
less
that's
so.
different.
Yeah, the Masters less
That's
so.
different too.
Because that's kind of like then you can compare like the Masters to like the Super Bowl. Joe Average can get to the Super Bowl if he wants to spend all that money.
Yeah.
But Joe Average can't, like, literally can't go to Monaco.
I mean,
like, it's
if you
impossible.
grandstands, but then you have shit
But
shit
even
view.
then, you got to
There's
get to
no-
Monaco. Like,
Yeah.
you got to like get into the country.
Unless
have
you
to, like,
live nearby,
Well, then
in,
yeah,
like
that's
France or
like
Italy.
the.
I
or-
think
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that Monaco is just one of those examples that we talked about last week that just have to stay. There's no
Yeah.
option.
Yeah.
Like you can't. There's so much history you can't get rid of it.
Yeah. Do you think Monaco also represents France a little bit? Like, I know obviously it's
Yes.
not French.
I think it would be easier to get rid of Monaco if France was on the calendar.
That's
Yeah.
I think
I
it adds like
Actually,
if Paul.
let me
I
take
don't
that
know,
back.
Ricard.
Yeah, Paul Ricard, Magny Course.
Actually, I take that
But
back.
neither of those were good racetracks.
I
Yeah.
think that if we don't see another Monegasque driver after Charles,
Yeah.
then Monaco could very easily be off.
That is
That's
true.
crazy. I
Well, the
like that
thing
poll, but
is,
that's
like-
crazy.
Think about like y'all saw my reaction when Charles Leclerc won. I was
Yeah.
crying.
Yeah.
Think about that emotion, like, and you see like all of the best. Well, I don't want to say best moments, but like, think of like there's 3 moments when you think Monaco that come to mind, like just like that.
Well,
Yeah.
what are the deal breakers for F1? Because that's really who signs a contract. 1 is going to be how much they pay per race, and 2 is going to be how much sponsors are willing to sponsor it, and probably 3 is going to be like, does it get good views? Now, 1 is they pay less than any other race than they have for a while. And then 2 is,
Views.
do they actually get sponsors? Yes, that's probably the biggest thing is a lot of people
Sponsors
don't.
and ticket sales.
Only
Yeah.
people outside of F1, and that's limited to ticket sales, but I mean they're high price. And then the third one is it actually a good race? It's almost never a good race.
No.
So
Yeah.
just
you
have
only
to-
have the second
Monaco's lap
crutch
1.
of like sponsors and ticket prices are really high.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
only crutch they have.
Yeah.
Well, I think to that point, I think
Other than history, but does F1 as a public company care about history and tradition that much? Fans will get over it once you
Yeah.
remove it.
mean-
Anybody like there's fans calling for
That's
Monaco's
fair.
removal every year. Sure, there's gonna be some that are gonna be upset that oh my gosh, I can't believe it's gone. But
That's fair.
it depends which demographic F1's, looking towards. And I think also to that point, I think you look at Frank and Colapinto and they're now talking about having the Argentinian Grand Prix come back.
Yeah.
I don't think you would have ever seen that. Maybe not ever,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't have heard of that.
But
so
I mean,
soon with
IndyCar
Franco.
almost had a race in Argentina just because they had an Argentine driver.
That's my
That's what I'm
point.
saying.
Yeah.
That's his point, and
Yeah.
that's kind of my point too. Is like I don't think that there is a world in which we don't have Monaco while we still have Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, like, every sport has to have tradition. Like, and I understand it's, like, a little strange. Like, even,
Yeah.
like the NFL is a good example where,
Like Chris playing on Christmas.
yeah, playing on Christmas
Thanksgiving.
or, like, how, was it
Thanksgiving
Detroit
game.
that always gets a Thanksgiving game or something
Yep.
like
Yeah.
that?
Yep.
Like, that's very minor tradition, but it's tradition nonetheless. You
Yeah.
would feel detached if tradition was disparaged.
Yeah.
So I think F1's tradition is those 4 racetracks. It's Silverstone, Spa, Monaco, and Monza. Yeah.
But think about it too. Monza's a great race. Spa's a great race. Silverstone's a great race. Can you not have the one?
But is that
bad
Monaco's
race a year?
fault? Is that Monaco's
No,
fault?
it's the car's fault.
Well,
but what I'm saying
then-
is,
Yeah, like Formula E race is great at Monaco.
But I'm not
like I would
disagreeing
watch
with you.
I watch the Formula E Monaco race because it's such a good race.
Yeah.
I'm
like
not
the cars are
disagreeing
built
with you.
for it.
I'm saying that can F1 not afford to have that but one bad race a year? For in,
Yeah,
in
they-
all, in
I think
I
they
told
can.
you the
tradition
factors. I told you the
to have
factors.
the one bad race a year. Well,
Investors
they've said they will,
don't care about
'cause it's
tradition. They'll drop that.
2031.
Yeah.
They're going till 2031, so clearly they
They'll
care about
drop
tradition.
that like the class I failed. I did not fail.
Clearly,
class,
there's some
but-
sort of
Never failed
financial
class.
incentive that we don't know about that's keeping Monaco like Because
yeah,
because
they
you also have
definitely
to
up their
realize then there's the
promotions.
dignitaries that come in that bring in, like for example, Lance Stroll's dad. What he had his whole yacht there that weekend. Probably brought in a couple hundred sponsored VIPs to come and like do that stuff. Like that's what
Lawrence Stroll will not leave. But yeah, I get what you're saying. You bring in like the
all
big
of these
guns.
team owners are bringing in. Come to Monaco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is the race to go to. You know
It's
what I
a
mean?
terrible race. Like, what
I
if
know
you're,
it
you're
is,
trying
but
to get a sponsor?
But you're going to a millionaire's playground.
Yeah.
You're going to guess what? The race is over. We're gonna go to the casinos.
That's
We're
what I
gonna
was
go
gonna say,
on the
it's not about
yachts.
the
We're gonna
race.
drink. It's
But
gonna
now
be
you
great.
have Las
You're gonna
Vegas
feel
to
like
do
you
that.
own
Yeah.
a country.
If
Now
That's
you have
exactly-
Las Vegas to do that.
But Vegas is dumb, dude. It's like
No,
because then
that's
you
why you
walk
have Las
outside. No,
Vegas.
no, 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 no. You walk outside the track and you'll see a bum sitting on like the sidewalk
is not
asking for
Monaco.
change. You know what I
No.
mean? It's like it's different.
I think that to your point, Vegas, you could walk around ordinary people all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's Las
still
Vegas, but
it's
it's
an
still an
ordinary
ordinary
town.
place. I've been
Yeah.
to Vegas. You've been to Vegas. Like
Yeah.
people go to Vegas. Normal people go to Vegas.
Yeah.
If you go to Monaco if you go to Monaco Grand Prix as a more, let's say, normal worth person,
Average Joe.
that is your
terms of
number
income.
one place in terms of income. Your number one place to network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that is you will never find more millionaires and billionaires in one single location than the Monaco Grand Prix.
My
in
buddy told me
opinion.
his parents went to Monaco, and it's my buddy Sean. His parents, they're fantastic. They're very well eloquent in terms of situation. If they were at like a fancy restaurant, they dress very well, and they went to the main casino there. I forget what it's called, and they were turned away. I mean, they were dressed to the nines as best as I could, understand at least, and they were turned away. It's a different world.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the thing is too, like I feel like Monaco is maybe not the home of F1, but you have a lot of drivers who live there too. You know, you have Lando
that's
Norris,
another
you
good
have
point,
Charles
yeah.
Leclerc, you have people who
Verstappen
live
has
there.
a place there, doesn't
This
he?
might be minimal. Yes, he does. This might be minimal, but it's also somewhere where you can win big and pay nothing on it. If you win big in Vegas, you're paying
Yeah,
taxes
that's
on
true.
That is true. There's always gonna be the tax argument. Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
just throwing that
True.
out there.
Now, like, if drivers start living in Vegas and like F1 incentivizes that, maybe.
But there's
But-
no world. Like the other thing about Vegas, right?
That doesn't draw in fans. Like, you don't have 20,000 fans hunting down somebody's house. I mean, you're gonna have a few fans that do that.
There's a lot of people
But-
that go to Monaco because they want to see Charles Leclerc,
Well,
For
yeah,
sure.
of
For
course.
sure.
or they want to meet it. They want to meet a driver,
And they
like people
also
that-
want to race the Citroen Ami around the hairpin and flip it. We've all seen that video. That's
Yeah.
a beautiful video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but also like, where else in the world would you watch Charles Leclerc win the Monaco Grand Prix and then watch him bike home after?
Yeah. It's true. Unless you're talking about maybe Dubai, but
But even then, it's
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi is not like it's hot as balls.
no,
Like,
yeah.
nobody's
It's-
gonna
yeah.
do that.
The climate's perfect. The scene's perfect.
Yeah, you're in southern France, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Italy's right there. Spain's only a hop, skip,
I
and
assume-
and you're not even technically
On the
in
harbor,
France.
Yeah.
like exactly.
And you have a
Yeah.
lot of people who speak English there
I just
too.
think we just made like a 20-minute argument for why Monaco should always be on the calendar. Besides Jason, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
3 against
I
1,
understand
so.
Jason's full argument though.
I
It's
do
a great
too.
argument.
It's a great argument, but
Yeah.
it's a corporate argument
Yeah.
in a world
But
where
it's a corporate sport. You never know.
yes,
I mean, yeah.
but it's a corporate sport that relies on ordinary fans.
Yeah. I will
It
say
relies on tradition, on luxury, on trying to reach the normal fan while maintaining the image of luxury.
Yeah.
Because that's how you're getting the normal fan.
What about this? I know this is maybe going off topic, but let's say when Lewis Hamilton leaves the sport, do
Okay.
we care less about Silverstone?
No.
no, he's still Lando Norris.
I know you got the British drivers, but it's
No,
none of them are
all-
7-time champions. I understand it's
Yeah,
a
but
British
it's
sport,
still
so like that.
Silverstone,
Lewis
though.
I
is
think
look at what
ticket
just
sales
happened
will
this
go
year.
down. I don't think
Oh, yeah,
Silverstone
absolutely.
tradition. I don't think the tradition is going to go away because we lost
I mean,
one.
we have a French team in
big
Formula One.
driver.
We have 2 French
Yeah.
drivers in Formula One, and we still lost France because it was a bad race and the promoters couldn't pay for it.
Yeah.
So we
I
lost
think
France.
France should go to Le Mans.
I think it's gonna be a tough deal for the British fans though. Because I think you're gonna see what happened kind of with like when Dale Earnhardt died. There was a lot of old fans that were younger when Dale started racing, and then Dale died, and they didn't care for the new young generation. I think
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen with
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, I
when
agree.
Lewis,
For sure.
when Lewis
I think-
retires, I think a lot of the British fan base is gonna disappear.
I think that's going to
I
happen
don't
when
think so.
when
I think so.
Lewis and Fernando are gone. Because
We've had
Bottas
this
doesn't
happen
have that
so
kind
many
of fan base.
times. Like,
Right,
there's no
but
one
how many
dominant
people-
figure.
How many people?
There's many. There's Alonso.
No. But a lot of
I'm
those.
talking about people that don't care for the media, don't care for the young people. They're just there to watch Lewis race. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
They just want to see Lewis. And I think that although on an overall spectrum, in terms of online audience and viewership, you're not going to see that much of a dip.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like I said, in ticket sales, you're going to see
That's
it.
what it is.
You're going to
It's
feel
all
it. They're going to
ticket-
feel
yeah,
it in
yeah.
their pockets.
Viewership, I think, is going to be standard the same.
Yeah.
I'm speaking specifically for Silverstone.
Yeah.
Not any other race. I'm saying that home Grand Prix, I think you're going to see... Because, I mean, I haven't seen much footage of, like, if they took camera shots of the crowd, but I feel like majority of them wearing Mercedes merchandise.
Yeah.
They have a good positive with Mercedes, the fact that their second driver
won't
is
have
also
a-
British. But, like, I mean... I don't know. I think a lot of old heads are going to...
But how many people do you think are Mercedes fans for Lewis versus how many people like are Mercedes fans for George? Like, I guarantee you there's more people that are Mercedes fans for Lewis and also Norris fans than also George fans.
Will we see
course.
more
Yeah.
Ferrari merchandise than Mercedes merchandise in the crowd next
Oh, hell
year?
yeah.
You think so?
Absolutely.
All right.
I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of people that are Lewis fans, not necessarily
It's
Mercedes.
again the Tom Brady Buccaneers thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna see a lot. You had a lot of Patriots fans move when he went to the Buccaneers. Now you're gonna see a bunch of people go from Mercedes to Ferrari.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I think you've already started to see it.
Yeah.
There's already an increase probably in merch sales for Ferrari.
Oh, for sure.
Probably.
Oh yeah,
Signing-
once
he's
that
signing Ferrari
ads.
Lewis shirt comes out.
Oh, they don't have any merch yet?
No.
Not
No
for
Lewis
him.
merch.
Not
Okay.
until
Yeah.
Carlos leaves.
I'm surprised Lewis hasn't,
out of
like,
respect.
his merchandising company hasn't already put something
Well, I
out.
think
Yeah.
it's the contracts with.
Yeah, they gotta
Mercedes,
wait
so
until he's a
probably.
Ferrari driver.
Well, I'm saying I
officially.
meant, like, pre-sale.
No,
I don't
yeah.
know. Even then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they did pre-sale, but I think what's waiting is that I think if like the first merch they're going to release with Lewis's name on it is probably going to be the official team shirt,
Yeah.
which
I mean-
isn't going to come out till after the livery.
I mean, I could like undercut them all and like sell my own illegal.
people
merch.
are already
Not
doing
to
that,
mention,
100%.
this is probably super nitpicky, but as I've like thinking about it, they probably legally can't because
Yeah.
their
He's not
contract with
a
Lewis
driver.
is signed,
Yeah.
but Mercedes holds all rights to Lewis Hamilton until early 2025.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. Look, Etsy, full of it.
Let's go.
It's
Yeah.
already full of
Etsy,
Lewis
but nothing
Hamilton
official is
merchandise.
going to come
Well,
out.
I have to
yeah.
order a few right now.
Let me
Yeah.
get my two move
actually some cool
Ferrari
t-shirts on here.
jersey
Dude,
right
the
quick.
DH Gate jersey. would
Kind
go
of
crazy.
off topic to what we were just talking about, but still kind of talking about big races.
Yes.
Indy 500 and Monaco are not going to be on the same weekend next year.
Yeah,
Great
I meant to get
move.
into that.
Great
So-
move.
Yeah.
Do we like
No,
this?
it's a
I like
dumb
it.
move.
I like
it.
Stupid move.
I like
Love it.
The greatest day in motorsports is gone.
Nah.
Sucks.
Now we
Hey.
could have.
This is what got me into Formula One. Was literally that May day. Was when I finally watched the Monaco Grand Prix, and I think it was the year Danny Ricciardo won. Cause fact check me, Jason. It was the same year that Takuma Sato won his first 500.
2017.
Yeah,
Yep, that was it.
there it is.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Look at that.
Do you think there's any drivers that would do both?
Fernando Alonso.
You see,
Wait,
that's the
no.
only reason why I'm so excited for it. Is I want an F1 driver to do both.
Yeah.
But who would do it?
Absolutely. Fernando Alonso, I feel like.
There's-
Fernando.
Half of the grid is going to be young kids next year. We talked about this last time.
Yeah. I mean,
Nobody is going to take a break from F1 to go do Indy 500.
Logan Sargent
Yeah.
would, but he's
I
gone.
was gonna
He's
say,
gone.
yeah.
Jason,
He's probably going to race the Indy.
Jason, you were wrong. It was the year
Now,
Sebastian Vettel
can
won.
we please have Max Verstappen go to? Not
What?
go to IndyCar.
Yeah,
No,
dude,
no,
2017 Monaco
You
Grand Prix.
you were ask. I thought you were asking who won the 500. You said, "Isn't that the year Takuma Sato won?" I said, "Yes, it was. Tuco won."
Yeah, his first 500.
Yeah, that first
I said
500.
I started the sentence was I think it was the year Danny Ricciardo won at Monaco, and I was
It was
like,
2018.
and I was like, Jason, fact check me. It was the same year that Takuma
Oh
Sato won.
no,
it, right?
I was asking about Takuma Sato.
No, Takuma.
Won 2017.
Yeah. So I was
Yes.
wrong about my Danny Ricciardo claim. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He
All right.
was
I was
asking
confused
you
on what
to
you're
double
asking.
check if the years were the same.
Yeah.
and-
No, I think
Yeah.
you were right, but I think we just
Misinterpreted
Yeah,
Right.
I was saying Taku won 17.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember the
Danny won 18.
18 one tragically because I'm a Vettel fan and he was leading and he could not pass him
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it's
that's just too
Monaco
good.
and we love
Yeah.
Monaco.
Was 2017 the year Danny his pit crew failed him?
2016.
16. Okay.
Yeah. But that's another great part of Monaco, which we didn't get to see this year because of the red flag. Everybody just changed tires and stayed
Yep.
in the end.
Yeah.
Snooze fest. But,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody was shitting on Max for saying it, but it was true. Anyways, moving on. Speaking of snooze fest, that was actually a terrible segue because you're going to hate me for this. Anyways, Damon Hill is leaving Sky Sports because I mean, a lot of fans are saying, "Oh, it's because of the snooze fest that is Danica Patrick." However,
Oh boy. Gosh, she sucks.
I think I told you were gonna hate me for that saying this. Anyways, I just think that he's old. I think that he's old and
Former
wants to try
world-
some other stuff before he like retires.
This could almost not be a headline. It's like former world champion millionaire wants to retire. Like he's just doing it for fun.
This
at this
is
point, honestly.
That's what I'm
Breaking.
saying. I think that also there's probably other opportunities for him
More than
in
likely.
the
Yeah.
broadcast world to do a couple more things before he retires in like maybe 2 years time.
He could host his
Yeah.
own car show.
Yeah.
He could start a YouTube channel.
Who's to say he doesn't jump networks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Go
well
to
could be.
Channel 4.
Anything.
Go to ESPN.
So I don't know.
Go to The Onion.
The Onion.
Onion.
Let's talk. This is likely going to take forever because it's like half the sheet. Anyways, Stake/Audi news. There is like a gazillion of them. Firstly,
Cooking.
their drivers, which they dropped both of for this, their current drivers,
Actually, think it's a
both
good move
rumored
for
to
them.
be reserved drivers for other teams. Firstly,
Yeah.
when did Zhou Guanyu get linked with Ferrari?
This came out of nowhere, I feel like.
I feel like this was straight out of left field.
Just
Legit.
major rumors.
I think
you
it's
know.
major rumors, but I think it's just Ferrari is looking for someone that has a little bit more season to them.
a
Yeah.
little bit more bank
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
their buck.
That's also part of it.
Yeah, the Chinese sponsor is huge. Marketing
Yeah.
in China would be big to see Zhou in red.
Oh, for
And
sure.
also, Ferrari got to pay that salary somehow for Lewis. So,
Yeah. Also, think
Yeah.
about it. You're gonna have huge market in China, huge market in England, huge market with Charles Leclerc because it's Charles Leclerc. Like that's huge for
Man, the
marketing
marketing
purposes.
geniuses at Ferrari are
Yeah.
really cooking up
Now-
this
now
stuff.
The
you-
other part, go for it.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, now you have Monegasque representation, you have Chinese representation, and you have British representation.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
You
yeah.
go
I
from
mean,
like
Rule Britannia.
Talk about money.
you go from splitting the Spanish audience of Carlos Sainz with Fernando Alonso and
Yeah.
having Charles to now having Charles Lewis, who dominates the English market. You have other drivers, but he dominates the English British market. And then you still would have Zhou Guanyu, who is the entirety of the Chinese
I
market.
mean,
Yeah.
I
like,
think we think that he would have a bigger impact. I think that's even what you're kind of saying. Like he would have a bigger impact as a Ferrari reserve driver than a driver at stake.
I agree.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Like
yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think if you're a young
Because it's
Chinese
Ferrari.
driver, yeah, if you're a young Chinese driver and you're looking at Zhou Guanyu
There
going
you
to
go.
Ferrari, got it eventually, going to as a reserve driver for potentially the biggest F1 team of all time, you're like,
Yeah.
wow, that's pretty cool.
But
Like
also, you think about it like the couple outings he'd have a year.
yeah,
Arguably, you'd see him much higher on the timing sheets than he has been all year.
true.
And it's just practice. But like we saw Carlos this year have health issues, so who's to say he doesn't actually race for a Ferrari at some
Yeah.
point?
It's true.
The other thing is just the reason that this is rumor makes some sense is I don't know where Robert Schwartzman currently stands in terms
Yeah.
of what he's doing next year. And Ollie Behrman will be on the grid, who's their other reserve. Their third option is Arthur, who's also racing endurance stuff. So
Yeah,
they don't really have a lot of like options that are like I can be at every race.
yeah.
Right.
So, on the other side of the garage, Valtteri Bottas with Mercedes.
I love this movie.
I would not
Oh,
be
I sorry. I have
surprised.
Robert Schwartzman news.
Oh, go for it.
Prema, the
Oh, he's
junior
racing
series
IndyCar.
juggernaut. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
That's
right.
what it is. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so if he's gonna be racing IndyCar, that's a full time seat.
Yes.
Yep.
He's not gonna be available.
The juggernaut
He's not gonna be available.
of
They
junior
race. How
series
many
is
races does
now
IndyCar have?
in IndyCar. 17.
Yeah, that's not
So-
much.
He's not gonna be available for much of the season.
Yeah.
Ollie's gonna be racing in another team. You can't just pull him out. I mean, they did it with George at Williams with Mercedes, but I.
Because he's
Do you
not a
think-
super
Not really.
license.
Do you think we would ever see, say like IndyCar drivers or F1 drivers racing part time in other series? Like I know you do see
F1
someone.
definitely not. There's like
not
no
in F1.
time.
Maybe
No.
in IndyCar though.
Yeah.
IndyCar
With
you
17
do.
Well, that's what I was-
races, you have enough
yeah.
time to
Grosjean
race.
does that with IMSA.
Yeah.
A ton of IndyCar just do that. IndyCar
Yeah.
drivers do that. IMSA. Colin Herta races IMSA.
Yep.
Pato Ward races IMSA. Scott
Yeah, exactly.
Dixon races IMSA. I think even who's Graham Rahal might.
Maybe.
I think
No.
so.
I don't know.
Rahal,
Yeah, I just-
Letterman, BMW.
Yeah, but I think
Maybe.
to your point, there's definitely enough time in an IndyCar schedule and in terms of like also like level of tech and efficiency and testing and
Yeah.
all that stuff that you don't have in F1. Also, think about how much more marketing they do in F1 than they do in IndyCar.
Oh yeah.
Like how much time is dedicated in a driver's schedule to just show up at these stupid sponsor events and like say 5 words that they say every time.
Yeah.
So it's like take some pictures and you know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I think there's just not enough time.
What I really need is, you know how Kit Kat is now the official candy bar of F1?
Yes.
Thank you, Perez.
Oh my gosh.
We need Max Verstappen hold up the Kit Kat, take a bite, and be like, like right to the camera. Just like take the like,
No,
wow,
please
this
no.
is really good.
That's the sound of money right there, Max.
He like
No.
says it like so unconvincingly.
Yeah.
Like I need one of those.
Yeah.
How would Max say it? He would be like, very good, yes, boys. Let's go.
Simply lovely that.
Oh,
Lovely
my
that.
goodness
Yeah, there you
gracious.
go.
We need something like that. I want Max Verstappen's special edition candy bar.
So
Oh,
tell me
man.
I need
this.
his face imprinted on the Kit Kat.
Nothing to do with Kit Kats, but tell me this. Do you know Frederick Vesti is doing next year?
No.
Because the current reserves for Mercedes would be Frederick Vesti and Mick Schumacher.
Wow.
Mick posted
Mick.
Yeah,
Dude.
about that.
about that. Mick posts on Instagram stories this morning. He goes, life doesn't always go as planned and setbacks can be tough to face, but every challenge is a chance to learn, grow, and come back even stronger. This is just a chapter, not the whole story. The journey continues and I'm determined to rise above. Thank you for all your support. It means the world. If that isn't me leaving the Mercedes without saying me leaving Mercedes, I don't
Yeah.
know what is.
I
Yeah.
mean, the only thing I could possibly think of is he does IMSA right too, right?
He does WEC.
No,
Yeah, he does
with
WAC.
Alpine, he's
Okay.
been doing well, but
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I
that's
don't
the
feel
only
like
thing,
that would
but-
be like. I feel like it's more so he's just losing that tie to Mercedes and just
F1.
WEC is going to be his thing
Yeah.
now.
I don't think he's
I think
gonna
that
get
would
back
make
in
more
F1.
sense. I think it make more sense. It hits more emotionally wise.
For sure.
If it's I'm saying goodbye to the sport that like my dad did for years. He's still in motorsport, but it's
Yeah.
different. It's not
Now-
like it's not F1.
I would love to see Logan Sargent and Mick Schumacher on Meyershank Racing. That would
That
be insane.
Would be next level. You know what's even funnier is Liberty Media owes Meyershank, so he'd be like, "Yes, F1 ties. I'm in the car. I'm
Yeah.
in
I mean-
the car."
I mean, it would be like a good move for him, low
That
key.
was the worst pun I've ever heard.
Worst?
Jason.
Come on.
That was so funny.
Come on.
Did nobody else get that?
No, I did
totally
not.
missed
I
it.
rate that one
He goes-
Sergio Perez
he goes,
out
he
of
was-
10.
That's really bad then.
11 out of 10? What? That's quite good.
So like you said, 1 out of 10.
I thought you said one Sergio Perez, who's already bad.
He's
out of
number
10.
11.
Right, but that's not what my.
If I would say one Sebastian Vettel, like your
He-
hat, that would be a
to
1
clarify,
Oh
out.
my
he
gosh,
said-
here we go.
We're not getting into this. This is definitely a Max
Yeah,
hat, so you can go.
lean down. Show them the one. There you go.
Which is
yeah.
Max, thank you. There's no infinity on this hat. And the only other ones they're selling are
2010.
Checo, which is number 11. So if you can go
No, that's Adrian Slotil.
Respectfully.
respectfully talk to the hand. Anyways, what he said, because nobody understood his joke because it was that bad, he said he's IndyCar, like in the car, but IndyCar.
Oh, wow.
I said at least he's in the car.
I
you know,
like
in the
that.
car.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tristan. You will
I didn't
not be on
catch it
the
the first
on the
time.
naughty list for me.
You'll be hearing from
Yeah.
corporate very shortly.
You have escaped from the
I
naughty
would like
list.
to see you have a
I'm a
podcast
winner.
without the person you happen to say you're going to put on the naughty list. So,
What? I never said that. Now you're creating headlines.
New headline.
Man.
anyways,
Beef
the
in Lights
sheet.
Out
back,
latest.
back to headlines.
Real news.
Steak also posted like a social media post today that was just like this weird like green paint.
Yeah,
thing,
they
and then it just, like,
they
had-
lit a thing of
Yeah,
probably fuel, and it just went whoosh.
it was just green, and then it just goes. It just had November 18th, 2024 on it.
Probably announcing their second driver. No, they already did.
They already did. I think
Yeah.
they're
Well,
Then
announcing
who else?
the Qatar
Livery.
stakeholders.
Oh,
Because there's also rumor recently that Qatar, like the country that owns, that has the track and stuff, the Qataris were preparing to buy into Audi.
Home field advantage
really?
would be crazy in F1. I mean, wait, we already
I mean,
see
the
this.
Bahrainis
Like
own McLaren.
Ferrari, don't they own Imola? Like Ferrari owns the
Yeah.
Imola
Yeah,
circuit.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we already have a Ferrari home
Don't
race.
the Bahrainis own McLaren?
Yeah, the Bahrainis own McLaren, so they have
So-
the Bahrain Grand Prix. And now we have the Qataris owning part of Stake.
How do
Yeah.
countries own
Public
They just
investment
said
funds.
public investment, yeah.
Public investment funds,
Okay.
yeah.
But also think about all the countries that we're talking about. Well, except for Ferrari. Ferrari only is different because it's a company. But the other, like Qatar investing in Audi, it's a kingdom. So it's a royal family who has a crap ton of money.
Yeah.
How
can
funny
invest
is
it
that?
anywhere.
Is if
Same with the
indirectly,
Marines.
no, like a government would own a Formula One team. Oh no, it happens already. A government owns a Formula One team. Like, what if? Imagine the president driving a F1 car.
So
Oh my
funny.
Like imagine if the USA had a public investment
Yeah.
fund and they just had a team.
Donald Trump is driving Haas.
Like,
He's like ripping.
I think it's funnier though that we've been talking this whole time about how much Audi is investing into this and how they don't need to pick a driver based on how much they're going to bring to the team because in terms of money, because they don't need the money.
Yeah.
But now they're just going to give up stakeholder like money, like or percentage to
Audi has been so weird.
Qatar.
That's a great point because Audi at first they had a board of executives that really wanted to go into F1, and since making that decision, they've left. So the execution has been left up to the new team who weren't fully committed to F1. And there's all these rumors that they're going to sell the team before it even started.
Yeah.
And then Audi, out of nowhere, because the original plan was they'd only buy 75% of the team and the rest of it would be sold. But then Audi's like, during these rumors that they would back out, would be like, no, we're fully committed. We're buying 100% of the team.
Yeah.
But now they've reneged on that and went back to the original plan of selling like a quarter to it to the Qataris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, not a huge surprise, but you're right. It's so weird because Audi's in the situation where they lost all their pro F1 people.
Yeah. The other thing that's interesting is that you're saying like 25%. Rumors are saying it's likely to be a minority minority investment. But on the other hand, they're saying that the Qataris are willing to spend up to $1 billion.
Well, it could just
How
be
does
for the whole team.
How does $1 billion correlate to a minority investment in Audi?
It's true.
That doesn't
I
make any
mean,
sense.
maybe
because
it's just
that's
a large
big money
donation.
there.
completely contradicting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Are they only asking for investment in the team, or is it Audi as a brand?
Honestly, the brand could use
I
it
don't
too
know.
because the brand is struggling.
Yeah, I think I
Well,
would say it's just
yeah.
the team because it's just an Audi F1.
How's
A
Audi
buy-in for
struggling? I
F1.
feel like there's a lot of soccer moms that drive the Audis.
Oh, of course. No, but overall the brand is suffering in sales to BMW, and Mercedes has gained so much ground against
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
probably all coming from the VW.
The 4
live
rings are
scandal.
going to have to be 3 pretty soon because they're going to sell one of them. They're running out of money.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
No, I think it's really interesting. I think that likely that announcement is that because what else are they going to announce? They already have both their drivers. Unless
Well-
they're announcing that they're keeping one of their drivers as a reserve.
I was literally just gonna say because I was looking at the post they did before this post. I'm thinking it's just their livery at this point.
Right.
But how?
Oh,
It's
special
so
livery for
Oh, special livery for Vegas?
Yeah.
Because
Maybe.
as their post was
That's probably
before
it.
that, they were talking about this is a hint for our next livery, and they had like a casino thing with. Like,
Oh, that's definitely it.
That's definitely it then.
that's what I was thinking it is.
Thank you for
because-
the real analysis,
Yeah.
Steven.
To be fair, the Qatari thing is still 100%.
Oh, it's still
Of
relevant.
course,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
I
just
was not
that-
taking away from that at all.
That's likely not what you're saying is that's likely not what the announcement is. Which would be
Yeah.
fair. I think the more likely is that they announce that pre-Qatar, not
Yeah.
pre-Vegas.
Yeah,
Or
I agree.
during or after that, like right around that race time, because I just think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, if you're gonna be in Qatar, it's an easy way to sign a contract with
Yep.
the Qatar government.
Yep.
So
Just bring a pen.
yeah, that's
Oh
all. I
yeah,
got.
they put out a second video.
Yeah, that's the one I
Yeah.
was talking
Oh
about.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, I want to talk 2 quick things before we kind of end off. Firstly, postseason talks, because there has been a lot of it, even though we haven't even finished the season yet. Because the way the postseason test runs is that you have one experienced driver who's doing Pirelli tests, the other one is a rookie.
Yeah.
However, most teams are like running out of rookies at this point.
Feels that way. Yeah.
RB can't use Liam because he's done more than 3 races. Williams can't use Colapinto because he's done more than 3 races. Ollie Behrman could go either way.
Yeah.
He could race. He could do it for Haas or he could do it for Ferrari.
Yeah.
And if he does it for Haas, then who's going to Ferrari? And if he does it for Ferrari, who's going Haas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a good opportunity for Daddy's money to just pay for some seat time from anybody. I think you don't need to have a team connection. It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
My daddy's
Could
money.
be.
Like daddy's money in F2. Just some F2 driver doesn't have a connection to like I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's say to like
that's fair.
Ferrari, just be like, hey, put my
I'll
boy
pay
in
you
the
to
seat.
see.
We'll see what happens.
I think the most likely scenario, which I think is interesting, a lot of reports talking about Arthur Leclerc. It's a favorite pick because first, Arthur has a lot of following out of like the F2 people, but also with Charles, it's easy to pick him and have him do a lot of the rumors are he's either doing FP1 in Abu Dhabi or he's doing the postseason test, one or the other. I would love to see him drive alongside Charles because either way that's driving with Charles because there's no way Carlos is doing the postseason test for Ferrari. That's stupid.
Yeah.
He's not going to be there next year.
Signs confirmed for Williams.
Yeah.
Right, because that's what I'm saying. So it's not going to be Sainz. It has to be Lewis. It has to be Charles. And Lewis is still under Mercedes contract until early 2025. He can't do the test.
Right.
Yeah.
So whoever drives the other car is going to be driving with Charles.
I mean, we could always use rookie Fernando Alonso, but
Yeah.
Sure.
rookie of the year from
Rookie of the year.
2017 Indy 500,
Yeah, and then you remember Robert Schwartzman had the outing in Stake, so he could also be driving for Stake. But it could also be Gabriel Bortoleto because that would make the most sense. Put him in. He hasn't driven F1 yet with Nico, and
Didn't
just
we
have your
see
drivers get some
Palau
reps
last
in.
year? Or was that Pato Award?
I think it was Pato
Pato.
Award.
Yeah.
Okay.
It may have also been Bianca Bustamante.
Yeah.
from
I
F1
forget.
Canada.
Yeah, I didn't know. Would they put her in an F1 car?
I just don't. Who else would they put in there? Like, firstly, who's getting that test? Like,
Yeah.
I would assume that it's probably going to be Oscar because Lando's just not going to want to
The
do it.
funniest part would we could have a former, but then he wouldn't be a rookie because Alexander Rossi raced for
just
Manor. He
can't-
was in F1 for like barely a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can't. He has to be two.
And he's in
races or
IndyCar for
less.
McLaren right now.
Has Bianca?
Well,
did
he
she ever
left.
drive
He's
an
left
F1
now.
car?
He's not with
No.
McLaren
Yes,
anymore.
she
Yeah,
drove an F1. I think she's
pretty
driven an
true.
F1 car. She's just never driven. Like, I don't think it was an FP1 session. I think it was just a show run or a test run or something.
Oh, okay. All right.
I want to say that's what it was.
I was gonna say though. I mean, I think you are onto something, Jason. Just pulling guys from IndyCar at this point.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Just
that's
keep calling
that's
people
why
up.
I led with that because they're out of juniors.
Yeah.
I think
Like
Mick
Red Bull has
Schumacher
no more
gets
juniors.
in there.
Red Bull
Yeah,
has Isaac
literally.
Hadjar and Arvid Lindblad. That's who they're stuck with to do their test. Neither of which, in my opinion, are ready for F1. Then, and like I said, Ferrari has a bunch of juniors that are going a bunch of places that aren't. They're either. I mean, I'm sure they want to do it, but why? It doesn't make sense for Ferrari. Like,
Yeah.
why would you put if you're gonna have Zhou Guanyu as your reserve, for example? Like, say that's true. Why would you have Robert Schwartzman or Ollie Behrman come do your postseason test? It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're gonna pick a rookie as your reserve, then he should be your postseason test person.
Yeah. No.
I don't
agree.
know.
I mean, we could always choose the Abu Dhabi area rally champion Mohammed Ben Sulayem.
Oh my.
I mean, he did test the
It's an
Renault
easy way to
F1
get
car
someone
Have
in your
your,
pocket.
a few years ago. You
It's
know,
an easy way to get some people in your
Easy.
pocket. Anyways, real quick before we wrap up, last thing. Firstly, championship talk. Because Lando has to outscore Max by 3 points, or Max takes the championship in Vegas. So expect some crying from me if it happens.
I don't you think Max would hate it if it happened in Vegas?
I think no. Okay.
he's got to go in the back of that Rolls Royce.
It depends on-
sat right in between. He's gonna get the middle seat this time.
Right. So here's what I was gonna say. I think he would hate it in that aspect of like how showy it is.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there's literally. Would you rather party in Vegas or party in Qatar?
I was gonna say you're either in the desert or you're one of the
Or
parties.
in the desert.
Yeah.
I was gonna
You're
say
in the
you're in the
desert
desert
or
or
in the
the
desert.
desert.
Wow,
Yeah.
no. Two different types.
Give me Vegas.
I would think that he would rather, because here's the thing. I think that if he doesn't win it, as long as he doesn't DNF with Lando winning the race with the fastest lap or something like that, it's so likely that he'll win it in Qatar if he doesn't win in Vegas, that because of that win, that he could win it in the sprint again. And then he's in that same scenario where he has to control his celebration because he's got to be in the car the next day. And it's hot as balls in Qatar.
Yeah.
So,
it's true.
which a lot of people were so funny. A lot of people were saying, like, oh, he was, like, the reason he wasn't as sweaty as everybody else is he was driving hungover. He was like, I don't know how that works, but anyways.
I don't know.
I mean, hey, don't believe all the Twitter doctors.
Yeah.
I mean,
Honorable mention for 2 honorable mentions. Firstly, for Jason as a Ferrari lover. Charles is only 24 points behind Lando. So should Lando make a mistake,
this is
which
great
he's prone
news.
to do,
He is prone to do. Look at Vegas
Yeah.
last year.
Ferrari could
Exactly.
win the
Dude.
championship.
he is yet to finish a lap in Vegas.
Yeah.
Lando Norris has not completed a
That's
racing lap in
crazy.
Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he
Period.
just loves the walls in Vegas. He's got to like check them out.
He wanted
like,
to go to the casino
crash into
early.
them.
Yeah, man.
Wasn't that the storyline? He wants to go
might
to the
have
casino
been.
early.
Rumor
Might have
has
been.
it in the pockets of his overalls, he had a few chips left from
That's why his car didn't make
So-
weight. No, I'm just kidding.
from the
Um,
From Marina
anyways,
Bay.
I think that it's not out of the cards, but
oh.
anyways,
What a great joke that
can
was.
we also mention that what came out this week, like mathematically, because I was not expecting it, because we've been talking about Choco and you so much. He is closer to Sergio Perez in the championship than Sergio Perez is to Max.
That's insanity.
Well done, Joe
That's-
you.
yes.
And that's why
He
he's
has
paid the
the
big
ball.
bucks.
Continue to get 0 points,
0
joke on you.
points.
Continue
How
to do
is
it.
Perez
0 points.
still there?
because Perez
Money,
has
money, money,
151
money.
and 331.
393.
Hey,
93.
we're talking.
31 is Lando.
Yeah.
We're talking about corporate. Don't care about tradition. They don't care about wins either.
Bah.
I guess.
It's crazy.
All right. Before we do predictions, I'm gonna end it off on this.
Mm.
As it stands right now, we still have a lot of track time to go. But as it stands right now, Pierre Gasly will be the first ever driver to finish a season without costing the team a single cent in crash damage.
That's pretty cool.
awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Not a
Very
single
nice.
cent.
And his car will blow up now on lap 1.
Doesn't make it past Buffalo in Vegas.
Nope.
But anyways, I thought that was an interesting little tidbit that I found. Predictions for the Las Vegas Grand Prix.
Predictions for Vegas.
Mm.
I don't have either of the dorks making it on the podium. That,
What are
that means
those?
that means
Whoa.
Lando and Verstappen.
I figured.
I have Verstappen winning the championship, but not because he wins the podium or getting on that. I think he's gonna come in like 4th or 5th, and then Lando will somehow like either A, ruin his race, or B, will just come in like 6th and just whatever, whatever it is. I don't
So
know.
who do you have on the podium?
So podium, I have Ferrari keeping pace and somehow pulling out some magic at the end of this year. So I have Leclerc winning in Vegas, and then P2 Oscar Piastri, P3 Carlos Sainz. That's my top 3.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Bird.
I like it.
I think
It makes sense to me. I think the Ferraris will be really strong. In
that's what
Vegas
I'm
again.
thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm saying. Like last year, it was legitimately the only other race
That they fought at.
potentially had a chance of winning. Yeah.
Yeah, they almost did
He
too.
almost did. He was like a 1 second gap or something.
Yeah. Well, it was Max, Charles, Sergio.
Yeah.
And that was actually a decent race for Sergio Perez.
Yep.
So, all right, Tristan. Not sorry, Steven.
Again.
Again, I read
Run
the
it back.
name on the thing as I was looking at Steven's face.
All
Anyways,
good. Yeah, I'm also inclined to say that Lando will not win this one, or Max for that matter.
I just don't think McLaren has the car for this race.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I do think that McLaren will have taken this time to kind of mature over the break. I do think that. But
If by mature you mean realize that they never had a chance to fight against Max and
Oh
then
my
just throw
gosh.
themselves under the bus, sure.
if you want to look at it that way, I guess you can.
I mean, that's literally what they said.
Okay. I mean, no. I'm not gonna. Yeah, like I said, Max Verstappen's not gonna win. Something's telling me George is gonna win.
Ooh,
I'm thinking
I like that
Top
pick.
I'm
tier
thinking-
driver
Yeah,
George
I'm thinking
Russell.
George is
Let's
gonna
go.
win. I also like Piastri in 2. 3. Charles Leclerc.
Okay,
All right.
I like it.
I can dig it.
All right, Jason.
Obviously, Ferrari does well on circuits like this,
Mm-hmm.
and they're expected to do well again. So I'm gonna go Charles P1 because we need the Ferrari championship.
Mm-hmm.
It's so tough. Who would even be 2? Because I feel like McLaren has been No, why not Sainz P2? That'd be fun. And I'm gonna take a roll of the dice and say that. Sorry, I had to emphasize that. Roll of the dice and say that Hamilton's going P3.
And the crowd goes mild. Roll the dice.
Hey, all of you laughed. You can't be saying anything.
Dude, you know what I was thinking about the whole time y'all were doing predictions? Like, wouldn't it be crazy if this was Checo's only podium of the year?
I was low-key thinking
Well,
about
it was
that.
not.
He podiumed
He
in
got a
like
few
Jeddah
podiums.
and stuff, but
He was doing well at the start of the year.
second
He was
half
going
of the
P2.
year. But I would like to think that that's way too far out.
You know why I
of
think
the
he's not on the
possibility.
podium? You know why I think he's not on the podium at all? Because he's run out of room in his trophy case. He only bought one. He thought he wouldn't win this much. Now he's like, what do I do?
It'll be a big
The
nightmare.
other one
That's
is
why,
on back order from like Tibet.
More
Like, it's a special one made in
That country
Tibet.
doesn't exist
terrible.
anymore.
So it's like exactly. So he literally has
Oh
no
my
more room
gosh.
for trophies, and Red Bull is not giving him any room in their warehouse because they have too many Max's
Sure.
trophies.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Anyways.
that's why Perez just chooses not to be on the podium.
Exactly.
Aw, he's just a good teammate.
He's a good teammate.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's not
wow.
gonna let the podium sit on the floor next to a doormat and shoes.
No.
Like, no, it has to be in the case.
Not good.
I blatantly disagree. I think he's just terrible. Anyways, you know I'm just messing with you, right? We've created this thing today where we just like really like to
banter.
banter and bitch with each other.
Yeah, man.
Anything
Come on,
you
I mean,
say,
hey,
I will
let's
say
go
is
all the money
incorrect.
together. Like, you guys make the pod get 1 million views. Like, I'm talking to the viewers. I'm talking to you. To the viewers.
As if I'm not the one who
And
posts
then we
everything,
could
but okay.
crowdfund. We could crowdfund to buy Perez a new trophy case.
It's true.
We're gonna start a
It's gonna
GoFundMe.
sit
Check it out in the
empty
link in
for
description.
like a year.
No, now that he has the room, he's
Until
like,
he goes to,
all
like,
right. It's like,
F2.
all right, you know what?
Wait, hold on. Has Perez ever won F2?
I think it was
A
called
race?
Formula 3000.
Did
back
he
then.
win GP2?
Did Perez?
No, I mean the championship.
No, I don't think he did.
Right, so I vote he gets demoted back to F2.
There
Wow.
you go. There you go.
Anyways, my
3,
prediction
GP2.
is also a
He
Ferrari
came-
1-2.
I'm sorry. He came in second in the F2 standings behind Pastor Maldonado.
Let's go! What a beast.
What a year. That must have been crazy.
Unreal.
Anyways, my prediction, I'm also going to go Ferrari 1-2.
Yes. All right.
Carlos, Charles, Max.
That's fair. I
So
think
what I
Max
said.
being on the podium is fair.
Yeah, I think he gets the championship locked up this
I
week.
think it's just because I really, 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 really want him to lock it up with a podium and not, well, at least a podium, if not a win. Then,
Yeah.
like, just win it because he finished 8th and Lando didn't score points. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's just, like, a great season ending with, like, ugh.
Well, what would be the funniest outcome? The funniest outcome would be
Max
like
wins the race.
Max and Lando like crash into each other and Perez wins the race. Like that would be the funniest outcome.
I think
Because
that'd
then
be
I
the
would take
most-
delivery of Perez's trophy and hold it for safekeeping
There
until
you
he
go.
gets that trophy case.
Check out PR. Look out for Jason in your inbox.
Hey,
All right.
my email's up there. You can find
Quote
me.
of the day.
Not hard to
Quote
find.
of the day.
Quote of the day. Already, I have big problems driving with this looking like amateurs.
Alonso.
He is.
That was my guess, but it was so.
Do you know when?
Oh.
They're asking about strategy, so it was either Canada or France.
Canada. Do you know the year?
Dude, I'm
2018.
gonna freak out.
No.
Oh,
I was about to go mental. Like, what is your
Is that
brain,
2018?
dude?
You're in the right century.
then it has to be. I already have big problems. I don't think it's 2017 because he retired. 2015. I don't
Yep.
think it was 2015. Okay.
I'm gonna go mental. What is happening? What was that?
Anyways, yeah, I would
Oh
like
my
to think that
God.
Jason
You
is
see,
taking
I
the
have
take-home quote of the day for
bookcases
the
in
year.
here, not trophy cases.
He's got enough bookcases
Clearly.
in there.
You know what I care more about Lamborghinis? Knowledge. Remember that guy?
Knowledge is power.
Remember that
Yeah.
guy? Love
Knowledge
that
is
guy.
power. I like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that's a wrap for today. Unless anybody else has any
Good ramble.
blaring things they'd like to discuss.
I love your Vettel hat.
Oh my gosh.
And with
And
that,
with that, we
And
will
on-
see you next week, as always. Mondays at 11:30 Eastern time. Yeah.
What? We're back an hour? I thought we were 10. Oh yeah, we are back an hour. Sorry guys, you got to wait an extra hour.
What?
I forgot.
Let's wrap it up.
Instead of posting at 10:30, we post at 11:30 now.
We've always posted.
I was gonna
at
say it's always been
11:30.
11:30. Uh-oh.
Right. So before I lose it because he's hitting the mic and creating unnecessary sound effects and he just doesn't know what's going on. Because, my God, this is why I post, guys. Like, for anyone ever watching, captions is me, posting is me, edits are me, YouTube is me. Just a little, like, shameless plug. Anyways, with that said, podcast every Monday at 11:30 Eastern Time. In the meantime, socials, Hat Lights Out Latest, Tech Tuesday, Wag Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, Fun Fact Friday, The Occasional Man on the Street, and shameless plug, all girls show on 360 Sports F1 show. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Peace.